All right, so I have this bridge and the maintenance on it has been terrible. We can see that the sun and weather has basically cracked all this open. And it looks like termites and bugs and shit got in here. I don't know how far down they got, but this whole bridge is leaning. I think most of it is still untouched, and it's possible that I can cut off the top layer, like maybe like cut this off and then glue and bolt replacement wood. But you can see it's really falling apart. And then like this part over here is just really fucking destroyed. This is all just gonna fucking pull up. So this is a big ass boulder, and I'm not sure how I go about fixing this. You see the foundation is pulling away the dirt underneath it. So the good thing is that this is one big giant solid rock, and I think I could probably support it with some posts. Put some support, some sort of posting under there. This part's starting to split and run away. And there's the main for the water. I don't know. I may be over complicating it, but maybe if I get under the bridge on the rock and jack the bridge up, somehow attach it, anchor some posts to that giant rock right here. I don't know if you can even tell, it's like, this is level, so the bridge is slanting this way. And it doesn't feel that safe and stable when you walk on it. Get past that stick. I don't want to lose the bridge. I don't think I could ever afford to replace this if it comes down. It's built like over 30 years ago, maybe 35 or 40. The house needs a lot of work, but I'm trying to take care of the things that are absolutely urgent. I had to dig up the pipe because there was a break in the pipe. The sewer line from the barn, it's got like a barn with a studio conversion up there, and then there's the house, and the sewage line that goes down into the back of the house, that was clogged, and the septic tank electrical was shot, so I replaced that. And yeah, so now I'm like kind of panicking about the bridge. So, but the house has water, septic system's working, all the plumbing, sewage is good. We can see the trees fell and they broke the top of this retaining wall here and over here. So some tree somewhere here fell over, and then this tree just fell over and went straight down there. And the gophers have done years of digging out holes, and they've moved all this dirt has fallen through the retaining wall everywhere. All the erosion from the gophers. And then this is the tier 1 of the retaining wall, and the creek drops down below. So we were able to dig out the stairs somewhat. So the stairs obviously need to get redone at some point, but they're not too terrible. They're a little messed up from erosion. All this dirt. It's like 3 feet of dirt in front of the entire thing. So you can see how far the retaining wall actually goes down. So even this is basically like the level where the ground should be. And then this is all dirt that's just filled over. There used to be like some shoe horse game set up. If you come over, I tried to move some of the dirt easily, just right here. I was just moving this dirt to fill in the top of this retaining wall. You can see where still some areas. And then I made sure I chopped down that tree because that's where the water line comes in. And the water line comes through here, and then it shoots up under there, and then goes underneath all this wall and towards the house. And then the barn's back up there. And then we have some tenants living in there and some bees, a giant beehive colony. Oh, there's a little bunny rabbit down there. There he goes. I can't see him. That little chirping sound, that's a squirrel. And then we have our new beehive colony.
They flew off.
They flew off? Nah. No, they didn't. They're there.
There was a beehive, a box, over by the Mexican trailer. I think they threw it in the creek.
Yeah, they settled down there from yesterday. You see this level, you see all the little gopher holes in here. They just keep digging. Just eating everything that they can, hiding. I mean, there was, you know, roses and all kinds of stuff, and they ate it all. Now I'm trying to figure out if I should get rid of this tree. This is a big giant oak tree. And I fear that the oak tree over time is going to just destroy this entire retaining wall. Like the roots are gonna go down and just blow all this out. And then originally this rock was up here, and the rock is sliding down and pulling away from these steps. We cut this tree down. It was probably a several 100-year-old oak tree about 25 years ago. Those are the remains of the stump, and the tree just regrew. And now we just got to make sure that we take out the branches that are going to try to grow towards the house. Yeah, so this was my dad's house and property, and he didn't take care of it. He didn't want to do anything with it, and he passed away recently. And so now my brother and I have received the property, and he lives in Japan, and I live in California where the property is. And so, yeah, that's just kind of fallen onto me to try to do something with it. Maybe rent it out, maybe move into it and fix it up, and then move out. We had a couple of estimates come out here. People said it's basically worth about $300,000 to $600,000 because the house is in such bad shape. And it's, you know, obviously it would cost a lot of money for somebody to try to flip it. But I'm pretty sure that I can, it'd be slow, but I could do it. It's just a matter of like funds. Have enough, you know, money to actually even just pay for the materials and working a job. And driving down from LA on the weekends. And, you know, trying to do what I can. I got a tiny little bit of rental income from some people that are, you know, down on their luck. They can't really afford to pay rent for a real place. So I let them rent, continue. They were here already. So I'm letting them continue to rent. And I'm using that income to try to put that into this piece of property. This is the front yard. So it's got like a brand new, well, I say brand new, 15-year-old septic system, a modern one that's plastic, it's not metal. And when the tractor came in here and dug all this up, they drove all over this little walkway and destroyed it. Let's just walk around. So this is the front of the house. My dad's brother, who's bipolar, is currently living here alone now. He was living with them. And he's, you know, doing his things. Watching the house. Protecting it. Like a human guard. This is his little spot to eat his breakfast. We need new windows. These old school stained glass windows. The siding hasn't had paint for probably 50 years. There's birds trying to live inside. A woodpecker comes, and every time I patch the hole where the woodpecker lives, he just makes a new entrance right below it. Little son of a gun. And yeah, you could imagine that at one point this place was really awesome. There's a custom built-in, there was a custom built-in deck with all these cool rocks kind of hand placed and mortared in. This was a little place, walkway to get back to the pool. The insurance company said we had to put a gate around the pool to stop people from falling in it and drowning, even though we live out here in the middle of nowhere on 5 acres. And everybody else lives on, you know, at least 2. The pool is a swamp. So this was all a deck, but I was looking through the water lines, trying to find out where the leak was, you know, and all I could do was just dig up trace the water line entirely. It took me like 2 weeks. 2 weeks of digging, for like 8 hours a day. And we had to pull up some of this decking. It's all pretty much trash now. So there's like a room, and the damn door opens up like right into the pool. Like there's this house, and the property's like really kind of nonsensical and goofy in a lot of ways. And yeah, my dad's last couple of years, he had cancer. He was kind of he was an alcoholic. And he drank himself into the grave. And he didn't do anything with the property, and he didn't want to do anything with the property. But, oh, I hear more bees. God, there must be like 5 bee colonies here. Where are they? I hear them. I hear them somewhere, but I don't know where. I just hear the hum. Huh. Anyways, yeah, so here's the barn. There's a kitchen and a bathroom. Up there is the loft. And we're letting some people rent that for a little bit. This is my bipolar uncle's Lincoln Continental and his old school Airstream. This is a real one. A real one built way long ago, before they got popular and started rebuilding them. This is like a real original one. And he wants to fix it up. And I'm gonna let him. You know, something for him to do. Because he just ends up bothering everybody. You know, he's mentally taken a lot of responsibility, trying to. And, you know, tries to come here and tell the renters and stuff what to do. You know, in a way he's right, but the people who live here, they're used to it being like a certain way, which is like nobody really giving a fuck. You know, and he yells at them, but I don't know. I don't really work with that people. I try to get the, do like a slower transition, you know? So like, hey, you know, the property's changed hands. I'm gonna run things a little bit differently. I'm actually gonna do stuff. And they've been helping. You know, they've been actually helping. Doing work, helping me dig, helping me move stuff. You know, dragging up the trash, collecting it, putting it in piles. You know, so that eventually I can, you know, in a couple of months, use some of the rent money to, you know, get a dumpster. There's all these cars. You know, I don't know. I never dealt with any of this stuff before, but it's like, there's a car that doesn't work. There's a car that doesn't work. There's a car that doesn't work. That's my dad's old Beetle when he was a young kid. I'm not going to throw that away. But this car don't work. This car doesn't work. That green car, that Honda under the tree, that works. That's my car. My Toyota. One of the tenants, that's his Ford over there. And then this is the other tenant's car. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, about 6 cars that need to go. You know, I don't know. Like, I just want to call somebody and like take these out of here, but then, you know, I have to do some DMV stuff. I gotta like go down to the DMV and file that they've been abandoned. And they've been abandoned by the people who live here, but they don't really have the means or wherewithal to really deal with it or do anything. So I'm gonna take some pictures of all the license plates and the VIN numbers and see what the DMV tells me I need to do. So this is like kind of my uncle. He's bipolar, and he like he has this, I don't know what it's called. It's like from methamphetamine use, right? So it's like an amphetamine induced obsessive compulsive disorder. So he like arranges things in certain ways. You know, even this like this gate, this ladder, and these trash tubes. You know, these water hose tubes, they're trash. But he has arranged them in some way. Somehow in his mind they make sense. He's collected this wood, so he thinks he's gonna move that Airstream over there and you know, fix it up and live in it. And that's fine. I want, you know, a long term he needs to like not live in the main house, like as I remodel it and try to, you know, rehab the house basically, and then eventually it'll be like a short-term rental. Or my plan is that it would be like a short-term rental, and then when it's not being rented, the family can use it. So like when my brother comes home from Japan, he can come and stay in it. I maybe, you know, thinking about building myself, and my girlfriend / wife, 13 years, building another ADU on the property and living on it, because, you know, it's expensive to live in California. This is another little area on the property. This is a nice kind of little flat padish area, and yeah, it's a cool little spot. I'm pretty sure this is just all rock and boulder, so you could probably easily do a little house here, you know, a little 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom house. And either it could be an ADU or, you know, well, it will be an ADU. It's just whether I try to rent it or live in it myself. So at this moment in time, I live in LA. My girlfriend works up there in LA. And it's tough. It's a lot of work. to work 5 days a week. And then on Friday nights or Saturday mornings, drive from LA all the way down to San Diego and try to get anything done on this property where when I don't have any money, I don't have like a bunch of spare cash. I don't live paycheck to paycheck, but it seems like all the extra funds I ever have end up going into some catastrophic, engine failure, or, I don't know. It just somehow gets burned up. And I got to do something with this property. If nothing else, just to turn it into something that can make some money. But I would really, what I'd like to do is have an orchard and berries and flowers, and move those beehives. I say the bee colonies that are living in the barn and living in the tree, and make honey. I want to dam up the creek. It's got a well, and the well is like 100-foot deep well right next to that barn that I showed you. And there's a partial pipe that runs up the length of this dirt road, and there's actually a reservoir at the top. You can't see it. I don't know why I'm bothering wasting my time, but there's a giant 150,000 gallon hole dug up there. And I think if I could afford to get some solar panels and power that pump, I could take the water that's down there, pump it all the way up during the daytime, and then once the water's up there, use that water to feed and trickle back down, and eventually it'll go right back down into the creek. So I'm not stealing the water. The water's going to go right back down into the creek, and use that to farm out this entire field, maybe even this driveway. I might put the driveway on the other side just so I can have all of this as one continuous field. But yeah, it's a lot. It's actually quite overwhelming. And then when I come down here, that's where I stay, because the house is it's too dirty, it's too porous. There's gaping holes in the siding of the house. There's rats that come in, there's rat poop in the house, and I'm concerned about my uncle's overall health and safety, which is partly why I want to get him into like another little trailer outside, but it's just limited by time, limited by money. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna keep making videos. Mostly these are gonna be for my brother. What's up, brother? So he can watch from Japan everything that's happening out here, and yeah, hopefully cheer me on. All right. Okay. One last look at the current state of things. The driveway's all messed up. That's my power and my water for the RV coming from the house. Ooh, I hear a bunch of bees in here actually. Oh yeah, I can see them. I don't know. Can't tell if it's like, is it just a few bees that are flying around my head, or is there actually their little colony here somewhere? No, I think it's just a couple by my head. Oh, there's my uncle. All right, guys, I'll see you later.